65 million years ago, a colossal impact changed the fate of our planet forever. Now, the story we all know is that of a catastrophic, completely random accident from the cosmos. But what if the absolute greatest secret in human history has literally been hiding in plain sight for millions of years? Welcome to this explainer, where we're going completely beyond the ordinary. We're going to explore a fascinating, highly alternative theory regarding what scientists call the Chicxulub meteor. Okay, let's dive into this, because the theory we're examining today proposes that the massive object that wiped out the dinosaurs wasn't an ordinary piece of space rock at all. No, according to some fringe theorists, it was a consciously directed, massive spaceship. And honestly, the most striking part of this entire theory, the cargo inside that ship might have been the very ancestors of everyone living on Earth right now. I mean, when you consider that there are billions of galaxies out there, each with billions of stars and countless planets, the probability of life is just staggering. So if other civilizations exist, why haven't we met them? Well, this theory suggests we simply haven't looked far enough into the past. Part 1. The 65 million-year-old secret. A lost past. And this brilliantly illustrates the dividing line between accepted fact and this remarkable alternative theory. On one side, we have the scientific reality. An asteroid roughly 10 kilometers in diameter smashed into the Yucatán region of Mexico. As we all learned in school, the impact threw a massive blanket of ash into the atmosphere, blocked out the sun, literally froze the planet, and triggered a mass extinction. But then on the flip side, theorists look at this exact same event and see a much darker, intentional reality. They ask, what if this wasn't just a cosmic accident, but a highly controlled demolition? Part 2. The Great Evolutionary Reset. A New Beginning. Let's trace how this narrative builds across our history. You see, the strange thing about this impact isn't just the sheer destruction, it's the incredible reset it created. Think about it. If an advanced species found Earth, there was one glaring, massive problem: the dinosaurs. You can't just drop a brand new, fragile species into an ecosystem totally dominated by giant predators, right? You've got to clear the board first. So the theory argues that the meteor was actually a controlled craft, perhaps carrying genetic codes or biological materials directed specifically to wipe the slate clean. Then we see the steady rise of mammals over millions of years, which ultimately leads to a sudden, almost inexplicable explosion of human civilization just thousands of years ago. Part 3. Ancient myths and visitors, those from the sky. Which brings us to the anomalies of our own human story. When we look to ancient history, theorists are quick to point out a repeating pattern. The Sumerians spoke of gods descending from the sky. The Egyptian records explicitly referenced beings from the stars. The Maya chronicled celestial visitors. Across ancient texts all over the world, there's this persistent, undeniable idea of teachers coming down from the heavens. So we have to ask ourselves, is this simply shared human mythology, or are these distorted, multi-generational memories of our true extraterrestrial ancestors? Let's push our imagination just a little further here. What if that original ship didn't entirely vaporize upon impact? What if pieces of it, or perhaps the knowledge it carried, were buried underground? Theorists argue that massive technological leaps, things like the sudden architectural mastery of the pyramids, or the incredibly ancient and complex site of Göbekli Tepe, might not be purely human achievements. Could they actually be remnants of forgotten advanced technology from a lost colony? Part 4. The Aryan signature in our DNA, the codes within us. Now, what's really interesting about this is how the clues might not just be buried in the sand, they might literally be buried right inside us. Let's look at this well-known biological puzzle. A massive portion of human DNA doesn't seem to code for proteins, which led scientists in the past to label large sections of it as junk DNA. But theorists pose a truly wild concept. What if these unmapped sections aren't junk at all? What if they're actually dormant alien genetic codes just waiting to activate, like a biological signature left by another species carrying traits from our true past? Part 5. Are they still watching us? Ongoing observation. If we actually carry their code, and if they really did set this entire planetary reset in motion, well, it leads to an even more unsettling possibility as we look at the present day. Is the grand experiment over, or is the process still ongoing? If an advanced civilization brought us here, they might very well still be watching, monitoring our development, keeping a close eye on our wars, our technological breakthroughs. This theory completely reframes decades of global UFO sightings. It suggests that if these objects are extraterrestrial, they aren't strangers visiting us. There are architects checking in on their colony. And perhaps we are subconsciously trying to get back to them. Think about humanity's relentless obsession with space, our deep, undeniable desire to reach Mars, to establish colonies on other planets. Why is this urge so deeply embedded in our collective psyche? Well, the theory proposes that this isn't just scientific curiosity. It's an innate biological drive to return to our cosmic origins. That we are not a planetary species at all, but the descendants of a starfaring civilization desperately trying to find our way back home. Part 6. Science fiction or reality, evidence and beliefs. Now, it is an undeniably thrilling narrative, right? It makes us feel special, suggesting we aren't just an evolutionary accident, but a species literally born of the stars. But as an explainer, we absolutely have to bring this back down to Earth and look at what the actual data tells us. Because the scientific reality is very, very clear. There is absolutely no concrete evidence to prove this spaceship theory. The global scientific consensus maintains that the Chicxulub Impact was a completely natural asteroid event, heavily supported by geological evidence worldwide. Human evolution, while incredibly complex, is largely explained by extensive fossil records and modern genetics. Today, the idea of an alien seed ship rests firmly in the realm of science fiction and fringe theories. So the crucial point is this. While science points firmly to an asteroid and natural evolution, the allure of the unknown absolutely remains. It highlights something profound about the human mind, our boundless curiosity and our deep-seated need to understand if we are truly alone. Imagine that fireball 65 million years ago, not just as an end, but as a vessel carrying the potential for cities, the internet, space travel, and you, watching this explainer right now. We may not have proof of an ancient spaceship, but the mystery of our existence continues to push us toward the cosmos. Maybe one day we'll find the definitive answers. And maybe, just maybe, we really came from the stars.